Hi, I'm here to teach you today. I'm talking about spouts. This is my very smashed up spout. It got smashed in the bag, which you are not the only person that does that, just so you know. I do it too. It happens all the time. So I kind of tinkered with it to make it a little bit better. And this is what I would say a very typical spout looks like. So you have a very small nozzle and then wide. If you see here, the angle that I cut it at, remember you want it to be kind of tall. I'm going to actually bring this up by about that much so that I can have that water level be pretty high on my piece. So it's going to stick on similar to this, okay? I am going to tinker with it a little bit to make it so that it doesn't look as gnarly as it does now. Yesterday there was a kid that said, like, how do you make a spout not suck? And the answer to that is basically wide at the base, skinny at the nozzle. Make sure that you're flowing with the form of the pot. So if you see how the base comes up, allow that to flow, this line right here to flow with the form. Movement. Okay, movement is key. So that is basically how to make a nozzle. Now, I really like how this has kind of a separation. So I'm not going to put any fill clay in here. But if you wanted to roll up a coil and fill this in so that you have a smoother transition, rock out. Go ahead and do it. I'm not going to show you that in mine just because this is what I do, okay? So what I'm going to do here is just take my needle tool and mark the outside of my spout. I am also, just one more thing about spouts, I'm going to kind of thin out this tip by kind of smoothing that outer edge. And then along the interior, maybe taking a tool and just kind of making it so that the bottom edge flows water out of it really well, or what I would think. You can't, the hard thing about pottery is you cannot test it while it's wet. Like, you can't just pour water out of the teapot once you attach the handle, because obviously you wet down the teapot and then what? You know what I mean? So keep that in mind. So I'm going to try and do this next step for you all by looking at the camera and doing it. So it's going to be really awkward, but you have to think about logistics with your teapot. So right here I have the outline of where my spout, I got to tighten this up, where my spout is going to get attached. Okay. And so that's where it is. So basically what you want to do is you want to make a lot of little holes so that you control the flow of the water. You want the water to flow out of your teapot, right? But you don't want it to just glug out. So what I like to do is I like to take a sharp knife and drill, baby, drill. So I'm going to make sure that I am only within that framework, and I'm just going to keep going. And as I do this, you can see I have a couple of them. I'm going to go with as many as I possibly can, and honestly, I'm going to try and keep it as neat as possible. You want these holes to be about the size of a needle tool handle, so that the glaze does not stick on it. So drill, baby, drill. And this is going to get hidden afterwards. So now that I'm pretty much finished, almost done. One last one. if you guys were not here, I would really clean these up. And the way that I like to clean up is I like to take a little sliver off. This is really gummy clay right now. You have to understand. Like, I've been wrapping it up tight because I know Christmas is coming and I'm not going to be here for a while. Although, who knows? So obviously I would clean that up way more than I just did. And then, this is the hard part, you have to kind of clean the inside as well. So when you take off, come on buddy. When you take this off, you may want to, on the interior, if you can get to it, smooth it out. And it's hard, you know what I mean? But I'm doing it. It's hard, especially because it's such this particular thing is such a closed-in form. So that's what makes it hard to clean. I'm gonna just, from here, attach this bad puppy up. So, scoring and scoring, slipping, pushing. So, now, let's talk about attachment for a minute. Like I said, you can, if you want to, put a fill coil right here, smooth it out to transition it, and it'll be a soft transition from your body to your spout. You can do that. I'm not going to do it because I think that the spirit of this teapot right now is a little bit more rough, and so I'm going to keep that edge just for like more, I guess, modern approach to teapotting. So I'm going to get this tea spout a little bit more tinkered with. The other thing that I like to do, just ignore that. It's a 24-minute period. So what I am doing here is cleaning up this ridge, okay, and getting things articulated, smoothing out any imperfections, and double checking to make sure that I like it. Now, I'm looking at it and it's looking, from afar, it's looking pretty upward. There's a lot of upward movement to it. I may decide, if I want to, I can do this. I may decide to give a little bit more body to this. And so you can take a tool if you want to and kind of tinker around. I should have done this probably a little bit sooner into the process, but I wanted to give like an extra little bit of a bulge here to make it less zing, like a rocket. The other thing is, once you have this on, you can kind of say to yourself, like, how are my proportions? So for me, I think like with a handle, the handle is definitely going to balance it out. I think that so I'll have to see it. I'm going to leave my tinkering until I put the handle on, but I do think that I want to shorten up this spout a little bit. It's a little tall. It's just a little too zingy for me. So these are the things that I can do to kind of tinker with it and change it. So remember, like, once you have it on, it doesn't mean that you necessarily have to end there. You know, you can tinker and change however you want because it's your project, not anybody else's. So keep that in mind. This is the last time I'm going to get on before Christmas, so I hope that you have a really safe holiday break. You're going to have like basically just an attendance question tomorrow for Google Classroom. So take care, everybody. Happy holidays. See you next year. Okay, bye.